It's snack time. I'm your host, Marno, and joining us today is my friend Jasmine, who is sharing her snack, Flan, or as the internet says to pronounce it, Flan, but we'll get into why we don't pronounce it that way. Anyway, hi Jasmine, how are you?
Hi, Marno. I'm good. I'm excited. I've got flan in my lap and I'm ready.
Yes, me too. Okay, before we get into Flan, I feel like first we should say like how we know each other because I think most of the
Yeah.
people that listening to my podcast, at least that tell me they listen to my podcast, don't know you. They might kind
No,
of know you if they follow my art Instagram account, which is
vaguely
marno.art, by the way. Um
follow
you
her.
know me.
Follow her.
Follow. And then go follow the collage. What would you call it? A collage, I guess club,
It's
but
it's it's a collage collective.
collaborative,
Collage collective.
collective.
Yeah.
Yes. I couldn't think of the word. Um,
Two
but
C's.
yeah, I'm part
Double
of
C.
Vision Coven, which is a collage collective, which was started by Jasmine, and you can follow Jasmine. I guess we could just do a plug now because I'm
Yeah.
already talking about it. But Jasmine is an artist and just like a really cool person, and we've only actually met in person twice because then the
This is
pandemic
true.
happened. But she's really
2020 happened.
cool. Yeah, 2020 happened. Wait, so where can they find you if they want to see your art?
So they can go on Instagram. They can follow me at Princess Art. It's not princess like Princess Jasmine. It's Prim. So like Primrose. So there's an M in there. Princess Art. I have a website, palmistry.com. But instead of a Y, it's IE. I like to spell things differently, clearly.
I love it.
Yeah, there's other things, but I have a YouTube channel. I have like an online shop. There's a lot of goodies. You can find it all through my website or my Instagram.
Beautiful. And you guys, if you are like lying in your bed listening to our sultry voices right now and you
Sultry.
have access to, I mean, if you're listening to this, you are listening either on your computer or your phone. So go right now because her art is transcendent. And we were just talking about this because snackers,
What
full
a word!
disclosure, we just were
What a
talking for like
word!
an hour before we started recording. So we're already kind of giggly. But I was
It's because
telling
we have
her
air sign placement.
literally. So I was telling her that when it's safe to fly, or at least like when I feel comfortable to fly again, I am flying to Jersey City and getting a tattoo done by her because she's also training to be a tattoo artist. So, yeah,
Just to throw that in
just to throw that
there.
in there. Okay, but now that we've gotten that out of the way, the snackers, now you know who she is, how we're
Yes.
friends, and
Yes.
etc. etc. We've got to know here at Snack Time. It's the most important question. Although we do not follow binaries in hardly anything in the universe, when it comes to snacks and those kinds of preferences, I personally want to know because if I want to share a snack or get a snack for a friend or just, I just want to know what they would prefer.
Hmm.
What's going to make them happy? What's going to put a smile on their face? So, Jasmine, for your snack preferences, are you a salty or sweet snacker?
I have to go with sweet all the time, every day. All I think about are sweets. That's it.
And
That's
why
it for
why
me.
is that?
I don't know. I don't know if it's because my dad like ingrains the like irresistibility of sweets in me as I was a child,
Mm-hmm.
or it's a genetic thing, but I definitely just grew up like constantly surrounded by sweets. So
I love
it's
that.
just like that's all I know. That's all I care to know.
I love it. Would you say flan is like the number one sweet? Or like what is your like when you're
Oh
like,
man.
I'm craving sweets, like what do
Oh
you go-to? Or I guess, like, what do you usually have? Because maybe, like, your favorite is something, like, more special, but, like, what do you always have to, like, snack on? That's sweet.
All right. That's a really good question because, flan or flan, I don't know. That's like my special, like, that's like my true comfort. Like, that's like, my God,
Yeah.
but like chocolate is so much easier to come by. So I go with chocolate and I don't discriminate with chocolate. Like I go for white chocolate. I go for dark chocolate. I go for Hershey's solid milk chocolate. Like I need it. I love it. I have a hot chocolate in the morning every day, even in the summer, if I can.
That's
like
incredible.
if I can.
Yeah.
Like my mom has me not as like my name on her phone or even like my family nickname, which is Chi Chi. She just has me as hot chocolate on her phone.
No way. That
it.
is iconic. That like truly speaks volumes. Like, what a sweet tooth you are. That's so funny.
Every time every time my face shows up on her phone, it says hot chocolate. So
that's incredible. Wow. Like, truly though, if your name is something other than your name in someone's phone, like that's your identifier for that person. That's
the identity.
So funny. So flan though is like more of a special occasion.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because you're not gonna have it like always in your house, probably.
I can't. It's not good for me. It's like it's too dangerous. Like I literally would die. I would be only flan. Like my whole body would become flan. Like
I mean, it's a good source of like protein because there's eggs.
There's eggs in it. You're right. You know what? Wait, no, don't do that.
Oh my gosh.
Then I'm gonna be like, this is healthy.
Oh my god.
I can eat this.
So I do want to eat a piece right now. So
yeah,
let's each have a piece and then we can talk about like what kind we have. But I just like it's staring at me and I really just want really want to eat a piece right now. So I'm gonna have some. This is homemade, which I'll get into. Where is yours from, Jasmine?
So my boyfriend actually like lives where he used to live. We just went by really quick. There's a Spanish market like a block from the house he used to live at, and it's just full of like specifically like Hispanic food products. And this one is I opened it, but it's a little Goya. It's like a little Goya flan.
Oh my god, it's so cute. It's just like a little single serving flan.
It's a single serving of flan. I already had one before we started this, but I need more.
That's incredible.
And I know Goya has some contentions. There's some controversy surrounding Goya, but this was like $1 and I really needed it.
You gotta do what you gotta do. You know what? Like, we live in a capitalist society. If that's the only option, that's the only option. Okay, I'm eating mine.
There's no ethical consumption under a capitalist structure.
This is bomb. Okay, so I'm having a homemade flan, but it's actually, let me swallow this bite that I'm squishing around in my mouth. My mom and I made Filipino leche flan.
Ooh.
Which I was like, what is the difference? And at least what I read online, it said that it's similar to Spanish or Mexican flan, but Filipino leche flan is often firmer because it's made with more egg yolks.
Oh, ooh, that sounds very good, actually. I'd love to try that.
You should. And it's actually so easy to make. We used 10 egg yolks, a can of condensed milk. I don't remember like the size of the can, but it's just like that regular like small size. A can of evaporated milk and then vanilla. And then you just like caramelize sugar at the bottom of the pan and then pour all the mixture in and then you just bake it in like a water bath.
I love that it's a water bath.
Yeah. And that was it. Like, literally, we did it this morning.
It's so easy. It
so
really
easy.
sounds so, I mean, I've never made it, but it sounds so easy that it's kind of inexcusable that I haven't made it.
I mean, I don't know how to make like regular flan, but I'm assuming it's like basically the same thing.
Yeah, I think what it is with Spanish or Mexican flan is just like, it's kind of like more condensed milk or more milk than the egg yolks.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I think that's what it is. Honestly, well, there's so many different
kinds. We can find out more because I do have an article, which I think is actually just a blog post from wearecochina.com, and they have an article called "The History of Flan." So while you dig into your flan and enjoy the deliciousness, I am going to read, and we'll get a little bit of a flan education, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
Perfect. Flan is easily the most popular Latin dessert and has been for many generations. We just can't get enough. At least I know I can't be alone in this. This person's so cute. It's won the hearts of pretty much every Latino, spanning thousands of miles, hundreds of preferences, and people of all ages, sexes, and backgrounds. It's one of those foods. It's made everywhere from the old ranches of rural Mexico to the upscale restaurants of major cities in South America to friggin' El Pollo Loco, for goodness sakes. This sweet is obviously the dessert of the people. Honestly, so I don't always have the snack when we're recording snack time, but I was like, I kind of really do want flan. I haven't had it in a really long time. And so my mom and I were like thinking, should we make some? Should we go buy some? And then I was like, honestly, I could just go to El Pollo Loco and get one.
Oh, there you go.
Just drive through El Pollo Loco. But we ended up making it, which I'm really glad we did because it was kind of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, back to this article. Nevertheless, this sweep across multiple cultures and countries did not just occur overnight. Flan is a phenomenon that's been in the works for centuries, and while flan hasn't always been the same sweet dish we know and love, its origin story proves it's an OG of Latin foods, and its rep in the culinary game has been holding strong days since the days of Jesus himself. Oh God, is this gonna get religious on me?
This is very specific.
Is Easter weekend. Snackers, we're recording the Saturday before Easter, so maybe I really
How can you make flan like Jesus-y?
Brought this upon myself. I don't know. It's made of eggs and the Easter bunny lays eggs. There you go. There's the connection.
Oh, if we had pastel flan. Well, I mean, I guess it is kind of pastel already. It's like a pastel
yellow. Yeah.
So.
That's so funny.
But some people decorate their flan with whipped cream, and some people put berries on
true.
it. Sorry. Anyway.
Oh, she's gonna talk about God again. What is happening? Oh no! This is why I should probably read things through before it was the first thing that came up when I googled history of flan. This was the first link, so I just gotta go with Google. It's snack time. We're doing limited research.
Where the time is, we think more about the actual eating of the snacks.
Yeah, it's about the snacks.
Snacking.
Anyway, let's hear about Jesus. May I say, I don't think it's a coincidence that God brought Jesus down to earth at the same time as flan. Because if flan isn't a little piece of heaven, I don't know what is. So let's travel back in time and learn about how and why flan came to be.
They're not wrong about it being heavenly.
It is, yeah. The origin of flan can be traced all the way back to the Roman Empire, and Romans spoke Latin. Ipso facto, this would technically make them the original Latinos, right? This girl's got jokes.
What's going on?
This girl's being funny. Regardless of technicalities, aside from their language, Romans had a very heavy influence on modern Latino culture, and food recipes were no exception. The Romans were the first to domesticate chickens for the purpose of harvesting their eggs. Whoa, that's cool. With this newfound abundance of eggs, they began developing new recipes and methods of cooking them up in new and inventive ways. Within these recipes, we have the birth of flan, ladies and gentlemen. The mixture of cream and eggs to make a flat custard cake was then called flado. In the beginning, flan was made as a savory treat. What?
Flado.
Usually flavored with fish or meat?
Oh. Oh, no, thank you.
However, it eventually took the Roman Empire by storm when a sweeter version flavored with honey was created.
There you go.
Ooh,
There you go.
I gotta try making that.
Honey
After the fall
sounds
of the
great.
Roman Empire, yeah, that sounds so good. After the fall of the Roman Empire came the medieval era, and while a lot was changing, there were some foods that the new generations could not shake, and the sweet flan was within them. Boy, aren't we glad it stuck around. We have the Spaniards to thank for this. Spain, thank you for flan and the beauty that is the Spanish soccer team. Who is writing
The beauty
this?
of this. Wait, this woman's going in a lot of different directions here.
Oh my god. She says, oh my god, she says, have you seen some of those guys? I'll give you a second to Google it. Wait, when was this written? It doesn't have the date. This is Victoria Freya? I think it's how to pronounce it. This is so funny.
Like, wait,
She's
like
funny.
Freya? Like the
No,
Norse
it's with
goddess
an X.
Freya? Oh.
F-R-E-I-X-A.
Oh, I get. So yeah, well, if it's an X, then yeah, it would be like a ha sound.
Right?
Yeah, like Mexico.
Right. That's what I was thinking. But it doesn't have a date, so I mean, she didn't tell us like which Spanish, like what years are we supposed to Google, you know? If she wants us to look at these soccer players. Girl, you gotta tell us which year.
Important information.
I mean, this is probably an evergreen statement. I'm sure that the Spanish soccer team is beautiful no matter what year it is.
I mean,
anyways, back to flan. Flan was a force to be reckoned with in the new European culture, and in Spain they began introducing caramelized sugar into the mix. There we go. Spanish ingenuity at its peak, if you ask me. The Moors lent a helping hand with some flavoring, citrus fruits and almonds, which we still see today. But for the most part, flan remained relatively the same egg, cream, and sugar concoction throughout the centuries. When the Europeans came to the Americas, flan was amongst the many gems they brought with them to the newfound land. South, Central, and North Americans alike would adopt flan as the international dessert of la raza.
La raza.
Mexicans. La raza?
La raza.
What does that mean?
It's kind of slang. It's kind of just saying like, I mean, like literally it means the race, but it's like, you know, like the people, you know.
Mm-hmm. It says Mexicans especially turn flan into an everyday dish. So you can eat it every day. It's culturally acceptable. Jasmine,
I mean,
live your true fantasy.
This is very dangerous. It's like, you know what? Why not? It's not any different than a Hershey's chocolate bar, right?
I'd say it's more nutritious because it has eggs.
It's eggy.
Yeah.
It's more eggy.
So now we come to flan today. While the method of preparing flan hasn't changed much since the colonial era, it has a funny way of tasting new every time while still remaining a childhood what's happening to me? Childhood comfort food. With new hands and new methods, creating it in their own way and style.
It is.
It's beautiful to see how such a simple recipe with such a lengthy background has the power to bring out the individuality in each cook. How my flan will never taste like my mom's flan or hers like my grandmother's. Each flan is different. So I think what I'm trying to say is, if you can't seem to figure out that perfect method yourself, find you a good flan maker and never let go. Oh,
that was nice.
Was cute.
That was like well wrapped up. Yeah. I enjoyed that.
We took a little religious detour at one point, but
Yeah.
Victoria, you led us to a great ending.
No, it is. I really like that. It's true. There's so many different variations of flan slash flan.
Yeah.
And every time I go to a restaurant, it's a different flan. It's a different flan experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's still great.
It's like, and so this is an interesting food for me to talk about because for the longest time I could not have flan because of my egg allergy, and it wasn't
Oh,
until more recently when I've been like, okay, like you know, basically building up more immunity
yeah.
to eggs is
Yeah.
essentially what I've done my whole life. Like my whole life has been building up to eating a sunny side up egg. You know what I mean? Like that is peak egg eating in my opinion. But so things like this where like flan is basically, as they said in that, blog post, egg, cream, and sugar. And especially in Filipino leche flan, it has more egg, I guess,
Mm,
or that's what we've read, than
it's
Spanish or
firmer.
Mexican flan. So I definitely can't have the flan that my mom wants to have. But now I can. And so still, it still reminds me of, I still have memories of other people eating flan
Yeah.
throughout my life, but it hasn't been until recently that I have been able to relate like a taste to the visual of flan because I think flan is so cute. Like, I think
Yes.
anything that's like eggs,
Yes.
it's just like, it's a little squishy, it's
It's
yellow,
bouncy.
like it's bouncy. It's just like a cute food. And
It's got
especially, so we made
buoyancy.
like a really big, yes, we made a really big sheet, but like when they're, cut into the little, or you make them in the little like round things, like anything in a circle shape is cute. Like,
Yes.
so I've
Agree.
always admired the visual of flan.
It's aesthetically pleasing. It's
Very much
comforting.
so.
It's just very like it's nice. It's like a hug, It's just like once you bite into it, it's like your whole mouth is being embraced by like softness and like
Mm-hmm.
warmth and just sweetness. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, come home. You're home. Like it's okay.
And so I've never had it like right out of the oven either. And so when my mom and I made it earlier today, we both tried a little bit, like when we took it out, and I was like, dang, like fresh,
Hmm.
homemade, warm, melty, a little bit
Yeah.
like the caramel's a little bit gooey, like,
Yeah.
so I have to take another bite. While I'm taking this bite, like, do you have a first memory or like childhood memories of eating flan? Like, where does it send you back to?
It just takes me back to being at home with my parents and just enjoying like being, I don't know how to say this because there's so many layers to this, but
Get into the layers. I want to
like
hear the layers.
just kind of like, my parents worked really hard to get here, like they're from Peru and I was the only one, I have three siblings. I was the only one born in America. I was born in South Florida. So they kind of had it, like they kind of knew how to be, like they really knew how to be parents by the time I came around. So, so, and like all the, like most of the difficult things had been already like passed. So I was like, lucky, I was a lucky kid who got to sit in front of the TV and watch cartoons Saturday morning, and they cooked all the time. They'd have their coffee at like 7 in the morning, and then they'd still have their coffee again at like 6 p.m. at night. Like that's how they did things, but they were always made sure food was available. And my dad was always like, what do you want now? Like what do you want next? Because I'm gonna do
Uh-huh.
this. Like I'm gonna go get that. I'm gonna go make this. Like my dad is always trying to like keep us stuffed. Like that's his favorite thing to do. So I think about him, and I think about like how again, like kind of how dangerous it is at the same time. It's kind of like a double-edged sword because he's so willing to like, he just loves being a dad. So
Uh-huh.
he's like, oh, like, you like this? I'm gonna give it to you every day now.
Yeah. My mom does that sometimes where we're like, ooh, this is really good. And then like she'll be like, should we make that again? Should we do that? Like buy that again? I'm like, okay, we're gonna get sick of it.
Yes,
It's like something like you can't have most things
you
every
can.
single day. It's not special anymore.
Exactly. It's exactly the same problem with, I mean, it's not a problem. It's,
Yeah.
it's like a good
It's
problem, I
with
guess. It's with
love, but
love.
it's just like I'm gonna end up hating this thing if I have it again this month.
I don't want to hate what you give me. Like it's like no, like you got to switch it up. But my dad's like, no, like I know that this works, so I'm gonna make sure it keeps working.
What's
But
something that he made like too much?
oh god, there's so many. There's so much of that. There's so many. So I
Did it ever
don't.
happen with flan?
It did not happen with flan because I remember the first time he made me flan, and I remember it being like it was like captivating and it was like he was so excited and I was so excited and it was just like it was so creamy and he was like, I'll make it again tomorrow, and I was like, no. Like I stopped it very
So it
early.
almost happened with
It
flan.
almost happened with flan, and I was like, please, like I want to savor this, like I don't want to get sick of it, like you said before, like I want this to be special. This is
Yeah.
so like I've never had to like think about food in this way, like oh it
But
has to
isn't it
be
so
special.
like food like can unlock so much.
Yeah. It's true. It's definitely true. But what he did, to go back to your original question, he did make too much of chicken, rice, and black beans. Like he would do that like every day. He would just do it
I
almost
mean,
every
but that's
day.
just like a classic.
It's classic and it's so good. I actually am not sick of that, but at a certain point, like my brother was like, Dad, why is this the only thing you make? Like, he's like, my brother was like, you can't do this all the time. And I was kind of like, yeah, you can. And my dad was like, all right, like I'll figure something else out. But it was so good. And even better when my mom did it. Just to be sorry, Dad, but like my mom has a special way.
Shots fired.
My mom has a special way of making her chicken, but my mom doesn't do it as often as he does, so it's like, you know what I mean? Like
it makes it more special.
Yeah, exactly.
Bringing it back to the flan, like, I mean, it is like so delicious. I don't know if you could, you can have it too much, but like you'll eventually want it again.
Yeah.
But like, because it's like a special thing,
you don't want to tarnish it.
Yeah, it makes it even better. So I had like literally one bite earlier, and then I was like getting, my piece to have during the pod. And I have only had 2 bites right now because I'm usually talking the whole time anyway.
Yes.
But I was like, I don't even want to get that much because I'm like, I just want to have like these little nibbles like throughout the day. Because it is so rich. I think especially
it is.
The Filipino one, because it's like so much more egg.
Yeah.
It is like thicker, So
yeah, that's fair. That's like the proper, that's like the etiquette of the flan, right? Like you don't want to do it too fast.
Yeah.
I definitely downed mine, even though it was the second one I had. Well, actually, when I was eating it before the podcast, me and my boyfriend were sitting and he like started eating his and I started eating mine. And then like 5 seconds later, he was done with it. And he looked at me and he was like, he saw how much I had left in it. And he was like, oh, you're like taking your time with it.
You can't just eat it. It's not fuel for your body. It's fuel for your soul. You have to savor it and like squish it and
Squish it. You gotta squish
Yeah.
it. You gotta just like,
squish
you
it.
gotta
I
treat
mean,
it right.
what are you doing? Just like inhaling this flan? Like the texture is part of the beauty of
The
it.
experience.
Mm-hmm. It's the
Yeah, it's the
experience.
experience. But I
I mean, it's
definitely
just
didn't
like
do that this time, the second time. Like, just downed it.
I love it. But like it, in other cuisine, it's similar to like a creme brulee, which is
Yeah.
like, the epitome of like desserts. I feel like if a restaurant has creme brulee, it's like, okay, well, you're gonna try that creme brulee to see if it's good. Flan is like, because it's that similar. It's so simple when it comes to the ingredients that like when it's good, it's like magic.
Yes.
Because it's like, what did you really do?
Yeah.
I mean, for making it with my mom earlier, she was like, make sure to take out the bubbles. And I was like, oh, it didn't say that in the recipe. She's like, I don't know why, but I was always told to take out the bubbles.
Oh, interesting.
So, it's like, it's something that's just passed down.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there, or not sitting, I was standing at the counter, but like literally with this like little spoon, like scraping all the tiny bubbles that form just from air being, when you mix it, air gets in. Yeah. And so I was literally like scraping these fucking bubbles off. Like, this better be helping because this is taking so goddamn
all this
long.
Extra time.
But I mean, I don't know. What if I didn't do that? Maybe it wouldn't be as special.
Maybe it wouldn't be as smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it wouldn't be as like seamless.
Yeah. So it's like you have to put that love in. And like I feel like with flan, when you have like a homemade flan or something, it's like, okay. It's like a creme brulee in a restaurant. Like, let's see. Like, what is this gonna be?
Let's go. Let's see if this was treated correctly.
Like, I'm sure when your dad made it, he was like, putting in that extra care.
Oh yeah.
Because he was like so proud of feeding his family.
That is,
and giving you guys what you wanted.
That is all my dad is. He puts an extra care. Not with himself, just like for everyone else. Like, he doesn't care about anything that has to do with him. He's like, he wears his, because he's a landscaper. He's like, I'll put on my paint splotched jeans and my dirty boots and my basic tee with my like old navy blue baseball cap. I don't care how I look. It's my energy that people will notice. Like, that's what he says. He talks like that.
That's so funny.
And it's true. It's true. He's just a friendly Sagittarius man. So
do you know, like, is flan one of his favorite desserts?
He doesn't talk about flan really. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I should bring it up to him and see how he reacts. It's just been so long, because he will have like a well of knowledge that I realize I haven't tapped into before about like a lot of things, like he'll say random things like, women drive the economy, and I'm like, what? I'm like, why did you say that?
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong at all. He's very correct. But no, like, he gets excited at the idea of flan. I know that.
It must be. I mean, because that's what I mean. Like, there's some people where, like, if they hear about flan, they're like, ooh, flan.
Yeah.
Like, and other people are like, okay, cool, flan.
I don't know. Some people really just, I feel like I either meet people who love flan or have like this like visceral negative reaction to it. And I'm just like,
yes,
why?
Because it's like that, it's like jiggly, custardy. I feel like people are very off put by things that are primarily made of eggs. Like, there's all these people that don't like mayo. I fucking love mayo. Like,
I get
me
that.
All the eggs.
I get that. I didn't know that mayo was made of. Is it? Because I honestly don't really go for mayo. I don't go for mayo. I don't go for, what's the other one? Mustard.
I love mustard.
I'm a weirdo with that stuff. I'm like, I'm so strange. Like, my body is like a little hypocritical, because it's like, I like creamy things. I like creamy substances, but like mayo is kind of like, I don't know. Like, I don't trust it. And
See, that's what I
but
mean. That's how people feel about flan.
it's so sad. You're right. Maybe I need to turn a new leaf.
I think it's a texture thing.
It's a
It's an
texture
eggy
thing.
thing.
I love eggs.
Eggs are like literally so magical.
They are.
And I've worked my whole life to try to eat them, and I'm succeeding. So if there's anything
You're
I
doing
can
a
be
great
proud
job.
of, it's that I can eat eggs.
I love that
And
for you.
flan. I mean, I can eat flan. You know what I
Yes, I
mean?
can always eat flan. I don't care what time, where, how. Like I'll have
Wait,
it.
so when do you usually eat flan? Because you don't obviously have it like it's not an everyday
Yeah,
snack.
yeah.
So like when are you like, okay,
When I,
time to have flan?
it's like, for me, it's like when I want to feel like what I want to feel satisfied. Like if I want to celebrate, like the other day, I finally got to mess around with shading on a fake skin pad at my apprenticeship. Like
Nice.
I received the blessing of both my mentors. Like, oh, like go play with the shading needle. Like try shading. You know, I don't do it unless they imply that I'm good enough to do it. So I
Uh-huh.
was like, oh man, I gotta go home and I'm gonna get flan.
Oh
Like
my god.
it's a celebratory thing. And I haven't had flan, like I've had it more often lately. Like I will say that.
Mhm.
Like I'm feeling good lately. So to add to the goodness, it's like why not a sprinkle of flan to make it better? It's like a bonus, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, yeah, some people get like, I don't know, cake to celebrate things or
Yeah.
whatever. It's like, yeah, flan is your like, okay, I
Hmm.
did this. I can have flan
Yeah,
now.
I can have fun now. That's
So
that's
when
what it
you
is.
get flan, do you usually get it like it seems like you don't only have it as a dessert because you just had two flans. I guess it is evening time where you are now, but
I would do it
what do I
even
feel
if
like
it
most people would
wasn't.
have it at dessert. So like how much and like how often do you consume it as just like a snack?
Yeah, it's definitely like, and because they have it in those little, they sell it like pudding cups, so like there's flan cups. So like I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh, like they have it, like I'm just gonna go for it and I'll have it like in the middle of the day when I'm just like, like I feel like I'm vibrating, like I'm just ready, like I'm just like, yeah, like this, I'm in a good mood. The only way to make it better is if
Inject
I
the
just
flan into my veins.
it's like, yeah, it's like an upper.
Oh my. Snackers, you heard it here first. Flan is an upper.
Yeah, it motivates me. Really, truly. It gets me going.
It's the motivation and the reward.
Exactly at the same time. You can't have it any better. Not for this Capricorn.
Truly. So, okay, so I'm having just regular, leche flan. I think, were you having like any special flavor or was it just like regular
This was
flavor?
whatever Goya dictates to be a classic flan. Um,
Do you dabble in flavors and like what have you had?
honestly,
Because I've only had regular.
that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, I honestly do wish I had been more of a flan connoisseur. Like, I want to do, like, I'm determined now after this talk to go out and seek more flavors because I have only really had regular flan.
Yeah.
So,
I don't
I
think I've ever
mean,
been encountered or I've never encountered other
encountered,
flavors
come across, come
in the
across a wild
wild.
flan. It's like a shiny Pokemon. Um, but I mean, there was this one time I went to like I think it was a Mexican restaurant in New York City, obviously before the pandemic. Uh, I like saw that they had flan on the menu, and I was like, oh, I gotta get it. Obviously, like who knows when I'll be here like in this specific
Uh-huh.
restaurant again. And then I got it and it was different. It was like, oh, like you don't look like the flan that I know. It was like, it was yellow, but it was like, it just, it just had like a whipped cream topping and it had like little raspberries like tucked in and like there was like a like some kind of glaze that was sprinkled over the whole entire thing and I was like
Mm-hmm.
oh, and it tasted a little different and the whipped cream was like a little redundant I think, but I still enjoyed it, you know. Like it was still great. I was like, okay, I didn't know flan could be like different, so that was a new thing for me. But I remember looking up like I went home that night and I was like, different flan? Like and
What is this?
like what's going on? And then I was like, oh my God, there's so many different kinds. And there's this one kind that I specifically really, really want to try, which is called lucuma flan. Do you know
Uh-huh.
what lucuma is?
No.
Lucuma is a fruit and it's native to like, you know, Peru, Colombia, Bolivia, so like the Andean region of South
Uh-huh.
America. And I love lucuma. I've only ever had it a few times in my life, but I've had it as like a milkshake. I've had it.
Wait, what does it look like and what does it taste like?
A lucuma is kind of like, it kind of like reminds me of an avocado, but it's shaped more like a melon. And it's actually butterscotchy, but has like the texture of like
What?
sweet potato. Yeah.
Whoa. I need to
And
try that.
it tastes so good. It's so good. I love it. And it's really good for you. Like it's got a lot of good, I don't know specifically like the health benefits, but I just know that it's great. And they make a flan with lucuma. I don't know how, but I want it.
Ooh.
Oh, and it's
I
spelled
just Googled what lucuma is and it
it
because it's yellow, it like looks like a mango to me and it does
looks
have a
yeah.
pit, but it like the shape, well, some of these are like circles, but some are like
Yeah.
avocado shaped.
Yes. Yeah. It's really
Whoa.
interesting and they taste great. I mean there's a little, you know, there is kind of like a vague, I don't know if it's like citrusiness, but you know, there's a vague flavor in there that's not completely butterscotch, but yeah, it tastes
Uh-huh.
butterscotchy to me.
Interesting.
It's so good.
Wow. Wait, okay, a question that popped up in my brain when you were talking about the restaurant that you were at. What kind of cuisine was that restaurant? Like, I wonder if the flan was like, a different kind 'cause it's from like a different country or something.
It was
Do you
it
remember?
was a Mexican restaurant. It was
Just a
so
like regular Mexican restaurant.
um I well actually that's a good question because there's like American Mexican and then there's like
True.
true
Yeah.
true Mexican.
Yeah.
So I would say this was like, you know, traditional, you know,
Mhm.
run by like Mexican like cook like chefs. Like they did
Mhm.
things very traditional there. Um so like there was more, it definitely tasted more like, you know, like I wasn't just eating like I don't know what's a Mexican fast food place. You know, like it wasn't
Yeah.
fast. It wasn't fast food. It was
Totally.
finely crafted Mexican food.
Yes.
So it was, like there were more layers, like more like nuances in the food.
Mhm. So I wonder if that flan was like from their region of Mexico.
Yeah,
Like that's the style that they have?
yeah. I think that that's probably what it is because obviously, you know, Mexico is so huge and there's, you know, little differences here and there between regions.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I don't remember like if it was a specific part of Mexico, but that's probably what
Yeah.
it
And
was.
if they even like say, like who knows?
Yeah.
They're probably, I don't know if they're like, this is Mexican cuisine from this specific region, blah blah blah?
Yeah. I
Because
wish
it's
I
so
remembered.
crazy, like so many dishes. I mean, the Philippines is not even a huge country, but because it's made up of so many islands, each island has their own version of different dishes. So
That's
like
amazing.
what my mom and grandma would make, you know, for a certain dish, someone else's mom might make it a different way. And then we go to a Filipino restaurant and it's completely different there because they're from a different island. It's like, I can't even imagine in a country as giant as Mexico, like how many different ways there are to make different dishes, you know?
Yes, exactly. And it's like that with flan, you know. I mean, obviously, like every like Hispanic person is like, oh, my grandma makes flan the best, you know, like with coquito, like, oh, like I know how to make coquito the best way, you know, but it's all different kinds.
Wow. I love food.
Me too. I'm like, we also go to Tres Leches along with the flan, and I'm like thinking about it now.
Oh shoot!
I told you we're
so
bad.
That's gonna be your like your after. Have you had dinner? You haven't had dinner yet, so
No.
that'll be your dessert, right? So flan was the snack.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Me and my boyfriend are terrible.
I mean, you have to enjoy life, and like for me, the easiest way to like brighten my day is to eat something delicious because you have to eat.
Yeah,
you know,
have
like
to.
It's something that you absolutely have to do to survive, and so
you can't avoid
might
it.
as well make it fun and make it exciting and happy and comforting. And
so much of life is just eating. like half your life is like sitting down and eating.
Like, you're either eating or defecating.
Exactly.
Okay? Like
we just keep it real here.
The food is coming in and it's coming out, and that's just a constant cycle of life.
Yeah, we just spit facts at Snacktime Pod, you know. You just gotta accept it.
But the truth here at Snacktime Pod. Snackers, did you hear that? Did you hear that?
I hope you're snacking.
Snackers, if you are eating flan right now,
and not defecating,
please let us know. And where you can let us know. Let me just do a little quick pluggity plug as we wrap up this beautiful episode of Snack Time with Jasmine. Make sure that you're following Snacktime Pod on Instagram, because that's like the primary place where I update things. If you want to follow on Twitter, you can follow my personal account, Marnofo Show. You can also go to the YouTube channel, Marnofo Show, to listen to every single episode for free on YouTube, ad-free. And not that there's ads on my podcast either. Maybe one day someone sponsor me. But if you're listening to this audio only on a podcast app, that might be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any other place where you listen to podcasts. And yeah, so that's where you can find me. Jasmine, why don't you let the snackers know again, just to
reiterate.
Repeat. Reiterate. I was just like nothing else in my brain.
We know what is.
You know what is. Jasmine, tell the snackers where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Princess Art. That's Princess with an M. And palmistry.com. You can find the website through my other weirdly spelled Instagram. So
beautiful. Thank you. Any last thoughts, opinions, concerns, stories about flan before we go today?
I hope that we can all so I just want to say I hope that each and every one of us can enjoy and explore all the different kinds of flan that there are. And maybe one day I'll say flan right. I feel like someone's going to comment on this.
And I can't be like, say flan. Flan sounds so like American, right?
Flan it just sounds like
where is the finesse?
Right. It's where's the lie? Where's the lie?
We're saying flan. We're just gonna be wrong and continue to say flan.
Technically, it's like, Hispanics say flan. you know,
Right?
and
Okay,
you,
so it's flan. It's flan.
yeah, like, and it's a Hispanic thing, and I can't help it. You know, I say flan. Filipinos say flan, right? Like,
I mean, every time I've heard my mom say, I'm pretty sure she says flan. Well, she always says leche flan, but
we don't have to say.
yeah.
We don't have to be anglicized.
We're not
Anglicized.
subscribing to the anglicized patriarchal.
Patriarchal
we
flan.
Oh my god.
Oh my
But
gosh.
yeah, snackers, get yourself some flan, try
Yeah.
out the flavors. If you previously didn't think that you would like it, give it another shot because you're missing out on pure joy.
There's so many different ways to enjoy it, so find the way that works for you.
Beautiful. I love it. Jasmine, thank you so much for being here at Snack Time and sharing flan with us. You're obviously invited back to talk about whatever the fuck you want.
Of course.
Again.
Of course. I love this. This was such a good time. This was such a fun time, despite the weird, like, technical difficulties that Zoom was giving us.
Zoom, get your shit together.
It was so.
Zoom needs to eat some flan.
Zoom needs to chill and eat flan.
Does that need to be Snack Time merch? Chill and eat flan.
Chill and eat flan.
I'm writing it down.
Yes,
I'm writing it down.
please.
I do want to come out with new merch and like maybe like fun stickers and stuff. So
collage some
snackers,
flan.
if you've got ideas, collage some flan. Oh my god. Yes.
I'm sorry,
but
I keep interrupting you.
No, this podcast is about interrupting. I constantly interrupt everyone. So everyone that's been a guest, I'm sorry, but I am an interrupting person. I try to hold it in, but sometimes I'm just too excited. Anyway, snackers, if you have favorite like quotes about food, especially if we've said them on Snack Time, let me know because I want to make merch.
Brilliant.
But anyway, I think that's it, right?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Did
I
I
had a good
interrupt you
time.
again?
No, I'm trying to throw love at you. That's all.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. And snackers, thank you for being here. I hope you eat something yummy today. And I'll see you next time at Snack Time. Bye.